Hey, this video is going to show you how to complete your PBL reflection on your research project. So what you will find in assignments is you'll find the PBL reflection, that's where you'll find it. And when you open it up, you'll see a page that looks similar to this, but not exactly like this. Down in this Google Assignments box, you'll actually have a document, a link to a document, and that is the PBL reflection form. I need you to click that and open it up. Go ahead and pause this video till you have that document open and loaded. It will look like this. Okay, now that you have that document open and loaded up, we're going to start filling it out. So the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to highlight or select your where it says type full name, first, middle, and last here, and you're going to do that. You're going to type your full name, first, middle, and last, in that space. Go ahead and press pause on this video until you have that done, and then click play to resume to the next step. All right, the next step is to input your ID number. So I'm going to select type ID number here, and I'm going to type ID number. I'm also going to tab so that it will keep graduation year aligned with date. Keeps things looking all nice and neat. All right, then you are going to put your graduation year. I believe it's 2023. Go ahead, press pause until you have those two pieces of information put in. All right, next up is your counselor's name. If you're going to type your counselor's last name there, if you're not sure who your counselor is, here is a list of the counselors. Go ahead and press pause on this video until you've input your counselor into the form. All right, as you can see, my counselor is input into the form, and I had to press tab to get my date to line back up with graduation year, and finally I'm going to put the dates. You're just going to put today's date, the date that you're filling it out. And then the next section is filled out for you. We want to scroll down to where it says reflection on the experience. And if you click where it says click here, it will open up this document that tells you exactly how to format your reflection. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to briefly, in 3 sentences or less, describe the project. So we're talking about things like requirements, steps, components, duration, process, that sort of thing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start my reflection, and you can feel free for this first part to copy what I have. I'm going to show you, and I'll show you what you write different if you did the paper versus the presentation. Okay. So I said I spent 2 months completing the research project for English 10. So now I have duration, and I'm saying the project consisted of several steps, including, and then I'm going to list all of the steps of the project. So the first thing we did, we selected a topic, then we took notes on sources, Then if you did the paper, I'm going to change things that are just for paper people red. And I'm going to put things that are just for presentation people blue. So far I've selecting a topic, taking notes on sources, writing the research paper if you wrote the research paper, or creating slides and recording my presentation if you did a presentation. Then everybody's going to list revising my rough draft to a first draft, submitting a first draft, conferencing out the first draft, revising for a first draft into a final draft, and submitting for final draft. Like I said, everybody is going to have that part because everybody did one of the same two projects. So go ahead and pause this video until you have that written down. Okay, so the next part is to have a thesis-like statement identifying the 3 to 5 employability skills you best demonstrated while doing this project. And then it gives you a formula for setting up this sentence. So I'm going to write through doing this project. I demonstrated following employability skills. And I'm going to list 4 skills. And I just chose to do 4 because it's directly between 3 and 5. All right, there we go. So you might be wondering what you can say for as far as skills go. So what are employability skills? Well, there's actually a list of employability skills. If you click the link for employability, or the link that says employability skills identified by the state of Indiana, it'll pull up this sheet. So if we start looking through this sheet, I think that you will start to see that there are many different skills that you could have demonstrated with this project. You may have demonstrated some self-confidence. That might not be true for everybody, but you may have demonstrated some self-confidence. You should have demonstrated some pride in your work. That's why you revised so many times. Self-discipline was required to get this done. You had to work independently, so independence. Perseverance, you had to have some endurance to get through this project. We worked on it over a course of, a couple months. Stress management probably came into play. Time management definitely came into play during all the workshop time that you had to manage. So those are some there. We look on the other side, written communication. If you did the paper, decision making, you had to decide a lot of things, what topic, what evidence to use. Tech savvy, especially if you did the presentation, you just demonstrated a lot of technology savvy. However, you did do this whole project electronically, so either way it goes, you demonstrated some tech savvy. attention to detail was necessary to do citations correctly. Organization, you had to stay organized. You had to organize your information. You did a lot of information gathering, especially during the source notes. You probably did some problem solving. If you did the presentation, you did some oral communication. If you reached out for help at any point, you were self-advocating, you were showing self-advocacy, and you had to follow directions. So there are quite a few skills that you could be listing. So go ahead and pause this until you get all of the skills into this sentence here. All right, now the last thing that you want to do is you want to write a sentence or two about how you demonstrated each of those skills. So these sentences could sound a few different ways. There's some ways that you can construct them. I'm going to actually pull some examples from another sample doc that I have. So you could say, I demonstrated whatever the skill is, when or by. You could start by saying, I used whatever the skill was and tell how you used it. I showed whatever the skill is by. Whatever the skill is was demonstrated by or used to or shown when. And then you can tell specifically how that came into play with completing your project. Right, and when you have that done, that's what you will submit. Remember that this is not only for points in this class, but it also fulfills a graduation requirement for you.